Welcome to the Quip Corner with Ada. Actually, this is a Quip and Convo segment. I am always excited to have the different guests that God brings my way. I could burst the bubble and tell you who my guest is. Should I do that? Okay, I'll just give you a hint. My guest is one of the authors of this book. Well, his bio is right after this, so see you in the Quip Corner after you read his bio. Welcome to the Quip and Convo segment of the Quip Corner with Ada Bob.
Thank you. It's so great to be with you.
Yes, I am so delighted. You can't even begin to imagine how excited I am because after I got this book from the library, I can't even remember how I stumbled on it, but I got it from the library during COVID and I read it and I was like, what an amazing book. So when I reached out to you and you were open to being a guest on my show, I was over the moon and back. So thank you.
Well, thank you. What an honor to know that. Thank you so much.
So of course, I wasn't surprised when after I sent you a couple of quips to choose from, you chose quip 83 from my first book. So I'll just read the quip and then let you take it away.
Okay.
So it says, we should be gracious givers and grateful receivers. Since it is more blessed to give than to receive, give others the opportunity of being blessed.
Well, I think it begins with something that my co-author, John David Mann, and I call the treacherous dichotomy or the false dilemma. A false dilemma can be defined as the unnecessary use of the word or. Okay, the unnecessary use of the word or. So in other words, are you a giver or a receiver? Well, there's no reason for that to be an or. It should be an and. Yes, you are a giver and you are a receiver. It's sort of like breathing out and breathing in, right? You need to breathe out. Well, you also need to breathe in if you want to survive, never mind thrive, right?
Yes.
We breathe out carbon dioxide. We breathe in oxygen. We breathe out, which is giving. We breathe in, which is receiving. Now, giving and receiving, despite the messages that we get from the world around us, and the messages we get are very anti-prosperity. They're very anti-business. They're very anti-money. They're very anti, and so despite those messages, the fact is giving and receiving are not opposite concepts. Giving and receiving are simply two sides of the very same coin, and they work in tandem, right? So no, you're not a giver or a receiver. You're a giver and a receiver. Now, we know that it begins with the giving of value to everyone, whether it's time, attention, counsel, education, empathy, whatever it is that we give to others, right? And that's where it starts. But when we do that, we really create that benevolent context for success and the benevolent context for us to receive. We've got to allow ourselves, though, to receive. We can't let that, those subconscious negative messages about money that we've gotten from many people. It's from their entire life. It's from a combination of upbringing, environment, schooling, media, television shows, movies, certainly social media,
Yeah.
and all the, where we continue to hear these horribly negative messages about abundance and prosperity and so forth. It's no wonder that people kind of push away the
Hmm.
receiving, right, when it comes to them, because they've been taught on so
Yes.
many levels, you're not supposed to get. Well, you mentioned it's more blessed to give than to receive. That doesn't mean it's better. In fact, it never says anywhere,
Yes.
because people go to the biblical quote that it's better to give than it is to receive. It never says that.
No, that's not
The word is
true.
makaros, a Greek word, means more blessed to give, which
Yes.
means that when you're giving, you'll be blessed.
Uh-huh.
So, John and I always say that money, and that's not the only thing we can receive. We can receive love, we can receive friendship, we can receive, but let's just say we're talking about money, okay?
Yeah.
Money is simply an echo of value,
Hmm.
right? Money is simply an echo of value. It's the thunder, if you will, to value's lightning,
Yeah.
which means nothing more than when we place a focus on others, moving from an I focus or me focus to
Yeah.
an other focus,
Yeah.
looking for ways to give value to
Yeah.
others. That's in the business sense. What do we receive as an echo of that value? Well, we receive a payment, we receive money.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
we give love to others, we receive love. When we give
Yeah.
kindness to others, we receive, sometimes directly from that source, sometimes from other
Someone
sources,
else. Yeah.
right? But it's really, I think, so important to always look to touch people's lives in a positive way,
Mm-hmm.
to make them feel good about themselves in a genuine, authentic way, to make them feel good about you. There's an author by the name of Michael Singer, who's written some wonderful books, The Untethered Soul, The Surrender Experiment. I think he has a new one coming out, and he has a quote that I love so much.
Mm-hmm.
I keep it taped right to my computer. May I read it?
Yes,
Because I think it
please.
has. He writes this: the highest thing you could do with your life
Mm-hmm.
is make it so that every moment that passes before you is better off because it did. That's the highest definition of the purpose of life. That every single moment, every person, every moment that happens to unfold in front of you is better off because it passed by you. It was raised a little. So when we can place our focus on making life a little bit better for everyone else we
Yeah.
come across, we also make life better for us as well.
Hmm. That's beautiful. And it's resonates because a lot of times, like you said, in social media and other places, it's almost like get all you can all you get, and then sit on the can, But that's the total opposite of what, your book and even what you're talking about, being a giver. So I guess the question is, for people, there's some people who are great givers. They're always thinking about others and never thinking about themselves. So what do you say to them about being gracious receivers?
Yeah, well, it's not healthy to do that. It's not healthy to only, now it's great to always be thinking of others. It's just not healthy to only be thinking of others and not yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about it, what does that mean? You're being self-sacrificial.
Yeah.
You're being a martyr. Maybe you're allowing yourself to be a doormat. Well, there's nothing about that that is congruent with being a go-giver. Okay, nothing at all. But typically, when someone does not take care of themselves,
Yeah.
okay, and finds themselves tired and sick and feeling discouraged and feeling walked on and feeling taken aback, there's an unconscious payoff for that. Okay. And so we need to ask ourselves the question, why is that happening?
Yeah.
Right? Why am I sacrificing myself? Why am I, is it because I enjoy the feeling of people seeing me as a martyr? And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying,
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know the
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
enough. Do I have a worthiness issue that I don't feel I'm worthy of being happy or taking care of myself or letting people do for me? So I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
but we need to make sure that we don't go out of harmony
Yeah.
with giving and receiving. Again, focus on the giving and allow the receiving.
Ooh, Oh, I love that last statement. Focus on the giving
Thank
and
you.
allow the receiving. Oh,
Exactly.
that is so nicely put. That
Thank you.
is so nicely put. Thank you so much for your time today, Bob.
Oh,
I really
thank
appreciate
you. You have such a
it.
wonderful spirit about you. It's an absolute honor and pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. Focus on others. I really enjoyed chatting with Bob. And it's interesting how two very different books have the same theme about being givers and receivers, not giver or receiver. I really appreciate Bob's take on that quip and all the other things he shared with us. Well, below this video, you'll have information on how you can contact him and grab a copy or more of his books. The Go-Giver is quite a good one. And the series, there's the Go-Giver, there's the Influencer, you'll see all that information below. I look forward to seeing you again in the Quip Corner. Thanks for being here. Bye now.